With trade season drawing nearer and nearer every single day, the talk for the Habs' next centers down the middle has never been hotter, and one Habs insider, Arber, in a recent article, linked the Habs to a Boston Bruins center who is over 50% on the faceoff dot, 6'3", has great production, but there is a certain caveat to it. We have to dive into the possibilities for this big trade for Montreal, but it's not just that, Jesse. We have to talk about Laval, specifically the goaltending situation, as we have a new wrinkle in it, plus a lot more, all great stuff coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. And well, what is the a lot more, Jesse? Well, it's our boy Ivan Demidov, who has been named as a finalist for KHL Rookie of the Year. No shocker there. This dude was one of the best players in the KHL, let alone one of the best rookies. He's there along Semyon Vyazovoy and Yegor Surin. Hope I pronounced that middle name correctly. Look, I mean, Demidov, Jesse, there's nothing else we can say that we haven't said already. He is deserving of the Rookie of the Year. He should win it. My hot take is that he's not going to win it for certain reasons, but, regardless, not going to get into that too much. I mean, looking at the list, Jesse, it's hard to argue against Ivan Demidov. Led his team in the playoffs, one of the best players in the world at this point, and I'm just very excited to see what Demigod even has in store coming up next.
I mean, and Demidov, you got to give him trophy for Rookie of the Year, not only for his play, but just everything that he had to put up with in SKA this year. You feel like he is just so deserving of that title. Wouldn't it just be amazing, Josh, to have two of our biggest prospects coming up, not only kind of be those star prospects, but now kind of coming into the pros and getting those accolades. We know Lane Hudson, very primed to win the Calder here, having Ivan Demidov winning KHL Rookie of the Year. This matters with the hype and the buildup of your team as you're really kind of gearing and getting ready for this next season coming up. I am just so excited to see him with the Montreal Canadiens and what he can really do because, imagine, Josh, in the SKA this year, in the KHL with SKA, imagine being the best player on your team while basically being used, the most inconsistently at the same time. This is what he had to deal with. So just imagine when he's getting this consistent ice time in the NHL, those stats are about to get padded a whole lot more.
I cannot wait to see it. I know you guys can't wait either. Let us know. Do you think Ivan will win the award? There's some weird stuff that goes on sometimes when people leave the KHL, and I'm just saying, I wouldn't be shocked if we heard that the goalie won it, but we know who the real winner is in our hearts. Leave some love for Ivan. Demigod down below. Also, Patrick Line is saying Demigod. Look, it's just his official nickname at this point. But look, we got to move on now, Jesse, to the Laval Rocket. Now, as of the recording of this video, they haven't played their second game yet. So if you're watching this before the video, make sure you come back and talk to us about this next topic after. And if you're watching this after the video, let us know what we got right or wrong here, because there's a lot of stuff. So either way, this is going to be interesting. So the big story heading into Laval, they won game one, Jesse, 5-4 against Rochester in a very back and forth game. Some great scoring. Reinbacher played great. Mahu played great. But Primeau didn't have his best game. And so Jacob Fowler is getting the start in game two. Since Fowler came in, they've been alternating a lot. So again, regardless of what the result of the game tonight is, whether you're watching before, during, or after, it doesn't matter. I want to talk about this situation because I want to talk about the feasibility of continuing to alternate these guys. And I get it on the one hand, but Jesse, when it comes to playoffs sometimes, we've seen it tried in the NHL, it doesn't always work. And again, depending on Fowler's performance tonight, wouldn't shock me if Fowler ends up stealing the net. Look, Primeau, it's only a 2-game sample size, .865 save percentage in the playoffs, great regular season. Fowler has borderline stole the net already, Jesse. I'm starting to wonder if this dude's just going to be the starter next year, and if this means some serious consequences for Primeau's future with this team.
This is what Jacob Fowler does. He steals nets, a complete disregard. No, to be honest, and this is some fair, good coaching from Pascal Vincent, as we've expected to see, right? Where he gave Primeau that opportunity knowing that he had played really well and he lost the nets through no ill play of his own when he was going up to back up, Monty at the NHL level for the playoffs. I love giving him that opportunity, but this is the right move now to go to Jacob Fowler when it really matters in playoffs. And you got to feel like, we know anything about this man, he's looking to run with it, hit the road and not look back whatsoever. We know this is his MO. This is what he does. That being said, Primeau, you got to feel for him going 21, 2, and 3 in the AHL, in the regular season, getting them that first place, getting them that bye week that provides, all of that matters. That's why you needed to kind of give them some respect by getting them a chance to kind of get that net back. And they did win, but how you win, how you do those things matters going forward. But this is going to be like an ongoing kind of like back and forth for a little bit. I wonder how this kind of plays out, obviously going forward. Like, does Primeau want to stay in an organization? His contract is up this summer where he's having this tough competition. I'm here for it personally myself. Like, I haven't fully given up on Primeau, even though it'd be very tough to get back to Montreal. But like, we know Monty, Dobesh, they're holding it down in Montreal. So that leaves Fowler and Primeau to kind of battle it out. I'd love to see Primeau still a part of the organization going forward, because obviously he's still shown some great signs lately.
Yeah, and I think he should stick around. Like, unless he really doesn't want to stay, like, or unless like whatever Montreal's willing to offer him is just, he thinks he could get more somewhere else. I think that's maybe where we'll start to see a disconnect, right? Because for me right now, like what we've said before, it's like you got 4 great goalies. Let them figure out where they slot in. You got Monty, you got Dobesh, you got Primeau, you got Fowler. Let the rest be what it is. And you just have Trois-Rivières with Luc Cavalin, whatever. So you have different guys here and there. But Primeau, again, this is his 5th professional season. Like, he's a veteran at this point. And I understand giving him the benefit of the doubt, especially after a 21-2-2 season. But you're right with Vincent. It's like a lot of coaches would be afraid to do what they're doing with Jacob Fowler right now. You give the net to the veteran, but he's like, you know what? Fowler's proven us right now a 1.0 GAA again. Maybe this ages poorly and he has a stinker tonight. I don't know. And I think it's hard to say that, we can't say right now he's going to be the starter next year. I think it still could very well be Primeau's net, but what we are seeing is Fowler ready to take it over. I got the hair just like him again today, Jesse. And look, it's time for him to take over regardless of what happens. It's thrilling to see him somehow still exceed expectations, man. It's nuts, but to leave some love for Fowler down below and even Primeau. But final thing I wanted to talk about today, Jesse, is some trade talk. Now, I know we talk about this a lot, but you guys seem to love it. You're eating up these videos at different centers. We love to talk about a bunch of different players because it's so fun for us too. And Arber Basu recently, Jesse, in our Athletic article linked below, mentioned a certain player out of Boston, among others. But he was talking about Geeky in Boston, had a 33-goal season, though he played mostly wing, not so much center. But Geeky's center for most of this season was Pavel Zacha, a left shot who put up 47 points, but had 59 and 57 points in the 2 years before. He has 2 years left on the deal that pays him $4.75 million per season. He's 6'3", he's 206 pounds, won 53% of his faceoffs this year, 55% last year. He plays the PK, he can play the PP. This all sounds really good. And like when I look at Boston, they're the kind of team, Jesse, that would really like, if they're going to trade away one of their guys that's not part of their long-term future, which Pavel Zacha kind of isn't, just 2 years left, they wouldn't mind getting some young guys or picks because that's something that they kind of lack in the organization right now after trying to go all in for so many years. And Zacha's one of these guys that just fits. Again, he's really a 20-goal, 50 to 60-point player. Is that exactly what we want for our big-time 2C for the future? No, we really want a pseudo 1C as our 2C. But a guy like Zacha, Jesse, to me, I really agree with Arpin here. Is like, this guy just makes the team better. That's my take on Zacha. It's basically Dvorak's cap hit for more offense, the same faceoff percentage, and a bigger frame who can still kill penalties. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Pavel Zacha? Because I know like maybe it blocks out and Oliver Kapanen a bit more, something like that. But when you could get a guy with this kind of production, you kind of just have to take it if the offer is right.
Yeah, for the 2C kind of question, like I think he's just outside of like what Kent Hughes is looking for. But I mean, heck of an improvement over Dvorak. That being said, as if Zacha comes in and plays well, there is kind of still those contract implications, which maybe getting those ELC for those younger guys like Beck and Kapanen could work out. But, he's really very close to being that 50 to 60 point guy, which just project often as a 2C in the National Hockey League. Like very, very close. I think maybe lacking a little bit of that star power, just a little bit for my taste. That being said, he's got those two-way instincts. He's got that, bigger frame. He's not like overly physical, but really hard to knock off the puck. For looking at the cons, like maybe just a little bit of that offensive production, we'd want maybe just a little bit more. But I mean, being good on the faceoffs really matters. The biggest thing for me though, Josh, is I feel like we saw with Alex Carrier too, is like guys like Zacha matters because it's like, it's not always about the player, but it's really about the fit. I don't think that he is the perfect fit, however, just because of like, I think they're really going to look for a guy like that's maybe a little bit older, of like guy who they feel could be really perform in the playoffs. I think they feel like they got a little bit of a taste of it. And like Jeff Gordon, especially, he just really wants to bring somebody who I feel would be a performer at that point in time. Again, I don't want to kind of cast judgment completely on his career. Just sometimes like that effort has been lacking. And for me, that's always like such a huge red flag when it comes into that playoff type of hockey from there. That being said, right on the periphery, I think they pass because it's not that 2C and they just know they want to remedy that first. But I mean, an interesting player, very much all the same.
Yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at. Like, again, I don't see him as a 2C. I think he's like an average to slightly above average 2C, right? Like, and that just in terms of point production and the fact that he can play special teams while being good on the faceoffs. It's like, he gives you everything you'd want. The way I look at it is if he's the 3C with Evans being the 4C, that's one of the better 3Cs in the league, provided you give him good skilled players to play with. And again, he played with Geeky this year. He's played with good players on his lines in the past, which may have inflated his point totals. I don't know if I want to say inflated, but he's a good playmaker too. So it's not just like stars are inflating his point totals, but I'm on board with you too. And like, he's one of these guys that if we trade for him, I'd be like, okay, he's not like that perfect guy, but if he played for the Habs, I feel like we'd really like him. Again, there's that question about the ELCs, but on a 2-year deal, you keep him for 1 year, you still give Kaiden and Beck some time to season. There's no rush for them. And then you can trade him half retained for the last year of his deal. You eat 2-point-something million, and a lot of people would probably gladly pay for him. So there's options. But look, we're running out of time. Leave your thoughts on Pavel Zacha down below, because I think of him, Jesse, middle six center. Great third line center, not really the 2C we want, wouldn't be amazing, but hey, you never really know. Listen, that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Leave all your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for watching every single day. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.